everyone, and welcome. I have as my guest Stephen Miles, who is the CSEP planner for the Talladega County Emergency Management Agency, and Deborah Gaither, who is the Public Information Officer for the Talladega County Emergency Management Agency. Welcome, and I'm so glad to have you here because I know we've got a lot of really important information that everyone out there needs to know about. Stephen, let's start with you since you're the new EMA CSEP planner. Tell me what your job is.
My basic job right now is to look over the CSEP program for the Talladega County EMA, as well as local planning issues. Right now, as you know, CSEP is on the minds of a lot of people in Talladega County. It's Calhoun County and the other 4 counties in the CSEP footprint, and I'm trying to make sure all the things with that are going well, along with everybody else like Deborah, who's here with us tonight, and the rest of the EMA staff. We all do a real good job at that. Also, I have other things that I'm working on currently, contracts with Jacksonville State University and East Alabama Regional Planning Commission, which is one of the things I was here to talk about tonight, was that contract, which deals basically with local emergency planning commissions as well as the hazard mitigation plan for Talladega County.
Okay, tell me how it works.
The hazard mitigation plan and the LEPC are both formed to address hazards within the community. That this doesn't involve just chemical hazards, it also involves other hazards such as tornadoes, earthquakes, which we've had a few of here, it appears, and flooding.
Yeah. Had a lot of that.
It also looks at things like tsunamis and things like that. We don't have much call for tsunamis here, but just natural hazards as well as chemical hazards. The LEPC is a committee that's put together which was a local emergency planning committee. It's a committee that's put together to address those vulnerabilities and to try to come up with plans to lessen the effects or the impact on the community. In the case of something like a tornado or a hurricane comes through. And we've had hurricane problems
I read
in Alabama
where
as
you
well.
all have already established your different committees throughout the counties, and now they got to make their subcommittees.
Correct. At our last meeting, which was on Tuesday night, our next one, I believe, is on the 28th of this month. The subcommittee meeting on the 28th. We established the subcommittees. We established 4 more subcommittees. We already had the hazard analysis committee addressed. Chief Blair down in Childersburg will be heading that committee up. Those committees are put together to address certain particular needs.
What their expertise is
correct.
in, right? Yeah,
Like
okay.
I'm in charge of a resources committee, looking to try to get all the resources available to us in the time of an emergency.
Yeah.
And we have a training committee and other committees such as that. Just certain needs for the committee.
I know y'all been working a long time on this, and it takes a lot to get it in place, but we all must be prepared. And I know you all are doing your part to get us prepared. People out there will just listen to what you have to say.
Well, that's why we're asking for community involvement in this particular LEPC function of the EMA. This is a community program. We need to get local businesses involved who would fall under the hazards, not just chemical hazards, but people who could lend anything to disaster relief and things of that nature, which is all part of planning for disasters.
Well, with it being a wonderful plan in place like you all are implementing, that would lessen the impact of a major, say, chemical or tornado or whatever. So, and I think people today will listen more than used to after 9/11. You know, we were all kind of complacent to then. You know, that won't happen here. That don't happen in our community, but it does happen. So I think it's just wonderful that you all are putting so much effort into this to make all of us more prepared, and we can better take care of if in event, pray we don't have it, but there's always a possibility.
And I think one thing we should point out is with all the staff at EMA, you know, this is our community too.
Yeah.
This is where we live, this is where our families live and our friends live. And you know, not only do we want to keep ourselves safe, but our citizens and families and friends.
And the only way we can do that is by being prepared.
Being prepared for the emergencies as well as the cleanup afterwards, and which is what the mitigation plan, I spoke of it earlier. It basically tries to address these vulnerabilities and tornadoes and chemicals, and not just the CSEP program. The CSEP program is just a minimal part of a hazard mitigation plan, but we need the community involvement in this to
well,
get this?
I know we have a lot to
running?
talk about as far as how they will need to be prepared. Deborah's going to talk later, but in your area of expertise of that, how about, what is it that they need to know out there that they could, you know, utilize or implement?
Well, as I spoke to you before, we need people to come in and help us. Like with my subcommittee, we could use people to help us identify resources that we can use during a possible cleanup effort after a tornado. Maybe someone has, you know, like a fleet of bulldozers, construction
That's what
company,
I was going to
things of
ask.
that.
What is it that they need to, so they'd know what they had to offer to
Well, anything from bulldozers to shelter help, to, you know, anything of that nature. Things that could help with cleanup, things that could help with blocking of floodwaters. You know, we need just that's the planning aspect of the whole thing, is trying to lessen the effects.
And you all need to know who they are, how to locate them, and what they will offer. So that's
Correct.
something they need to furnish
Correct.
you, right? Okay. Well, tell me, I know you have a lot more to do than that.
Well,
I'm not going to let him off the hook.
Well, I have other things we're looking at currently, as well as Deborah is going to talk a little later about the CSEP program.
Yeah.
I'm also heavily involved in that as my title,
Yeah.
CSEP planner. So, but Deborah's going to be talking about that later. I'm not going to try to steal her thunder on that deal.
In 1986, Congress mandated that all chemical munitions inside the United States be destroyed. So at this time, that's what we're working with, is with the Anniston Army Depot and their efforts to incinerate the chemicals there on the Anniston Army Depot. We have created a public service announcement that's called Shelter in Place from Talladega County EMA that we want to share with you at this time. It gives you specific instructions on sheltering in place in your home. It also gives you enhanced instructions how to enhance your shelter in place. We're very proud of this production that we've put together, and at this time we'd like for you to see it.